The Outpost Incident. Vanos was supposed to be a symbol of peace. A neutral colony, co-managed by humans and galactic species, where diplomats, researchers, and their families worked together to build something better. For a while, it even worked. Children from a dozen planets played together in the same dusty courtyards, laughed over shared meals, and learned side by side in the hexagonal halls of the United Education Dome. Until the 3rd Galactic Battalion arrived. Commander Draxel landed with a sharp salute and an unspoken grudge. A member of the Torkin Dominion, he wore his armor like a relic from the old wars, polished and cruel. His eyes burned with disdain every time he looked at a human. It wasn't politics. It was hate. To Draxel, the growing influence of Earth in galactic affairs was a corruption, an infection. And on Vanos 4, he found what he called the soft underbelly of humanity. 7 children. Ava Carter was 12. She liked building old-world kites from paper and wood. Her best friend Lila, a tech prodigy, could hack basic AI systems for fun. Zach and Aaron were twins who argued about who ran faster. Dimitri, shy and quiet, liked reading about alien myths. Mia was just 9 and too brave for her size. Hannah, the youngest, didn't talk much but drew beautiful starscapes no one understood. They were the children of scientists, engineers, and diplomats, left mostly to their own quiet lives while the adults worked toward treaties and research. But then came the raid. It was dawn when the battalion struck. Drop pods hammered into the earth outside the education dome, and soldiers in jet black armor stormed in with pulse rifles aimed and safeties off. Teachers screamed. Non-human students were shoved aside. The human children were dragged out one by one. By order of Commander Draxel, the lead soldier barked, "You are hereby detained under suspicion of espionage and sabotage." It was nonsense. There was no trial, no evidence, only a crude broadcast sent to every screen on Vanos 4. Draxel stood on a raised platform, flanked by armed guards. Behind him, the children were lined up with hands bound, flinching under the glare of lights. Dirt streaked their faces. Ava had a swollen lip. Zach was limping. "The Terrans have corrupted our peace with lies," Draxel declared. "These young operatives are proof. Let their fate be a warning." Behind him, 7 nooses hung from makeshift gallows. Ava struggled, voice shaking. "We're just kids. You know that." Draxel ignored her. "The sentence is death." Dr. Carter, Ava's father, was restrained outside the dome, screaming and struggling as guards held him down. Other humans tried to resist, some arrested, some beaten. Galactic officials pleaded for diplomacy, but no one dared cross Draxel. Not without backup from the Council. And the Council had gone silent. As the soldiers tightened the ropes, a tiny drone the size of a beetle zipped through the rafters. It was nearly invisible, stealth camo, Earth-made, part of a long-forgotten recon system placed in the dome years ago. It recorded everything. Ava's eyes scanned the crowd one last time. She didn't cry. She clenched her jaw. She remembered her mother's voice. "If you're ever scared, stand tall, even if you're shaking." Ropes pulled taut. But then, an explosion rocked the square. Smoke surged from the east gate. A group of alien resistance fighters, disillusioned by Draxel's tyranny, opened fire on the guards. The crowd scattered. Soldiers returned fire in panic. In the chaos, the drone zipped away, straight up through the air ducts, launching into orbit on a preset beacon trajectory. Back in Earth's orbit, aboard the Vigilant Station, a sleeping warning system blinked to life. A red alert flared across the command board. A secure transmission flashed open, and an officer's breath caught in her throat. "Ma'am," she whispered, eyes wide. "It's a children's execution. Vanos 4. Human children." General Adrian Knox walked over, watching the footage with dead silent rage. She didn't ask for context. She didn't need it. She saw the ropes. She saw the faces. Her voice was steel. "Prep the Terran Rapid Response Fleet. Wake the Prime Minister. And give me Admiral Singh on encrypted." 1 second of silence passed. "Effective immediately," she said. "The 3rd Galactic Battalion is declared kill on sight." Earth's fury unleashed. General Adrian Knox stood at the center of the command deck of Vigilant Station, her eyes locked on the looping footage. 7 children, bound, beaten, sentenced. The silence that filled the room wasn't passive. It was the stillness of a sword just before it strikes. Prime Minister Alara Wren's voice came through the secure line. Calm, controlled, but each word cut like a blade. Confirm it again. Knox didn't blink. 7 human minors. Captured and sentenced to public execution without trial. Commander Draxel, acting under a rogue order. Execution was interrupted by a resistance assault. Children's status, unknown. Admiral Singh joined the call from the bridge of the TSV reprisal, already prepping jump drives. We have Draxel's location, he asked. Knox nodded. A base hidden beneath the Vanos Ridge. Reinforced, shielded, but not invincible. Prime Minister Wren exhaled slowly. Earth's charter prohibits us from engaging in war without council consent. The council, Knox snapped, went dark the second this transmission hit their inbox. They know. They chose silence. Wren's eyes hardened. Then so be it. Earth's directive is clear. Harm our children. She paused, and you face annihilation. Knox gave the signal. Across space, Earth's Terran Rapid Response Fleet, TRRF, lit up with movement. Destroyers powered up their weapons grids. Carriers launched fighter squadrons. Black Ops vessels began jumping through worm gates in complete silence. The TSV reprisal, Iron Howl, and Liberty's Edge formed the vanguard. Back on Earth, citizens gathered in squares, stadiums, even open highways, watching the leaked broadcast with frozen faces. Some wept, others clenched fists. One image was shared across every screen. Ava Carter, bruised, bound, but standing tall, refusing to bow her head. The message that followed was short, brutal, viral. Earth's children were nearly hanged. Their captors are now marked kill on sight. You spilled innocent blood. We will answer with fire. In orbit over Vanos 4. A small cloaked cruiser, TRRF's Whisper Fawn, drifted just outside planetary sensor range. Inside, Black Ops Commander Major Rain monitored encrypted pings. Then one flash green. The beacon. It activated. Transmission from surface confirmed. She brought the message on screen. Coordinates. Bio readings. Weak vitals. 7 human signatures. Faint but alive. They're on the move, Rain muttered. Kids escaped the hangings. Somehow, she keyed into the fleet channel. Confirm contact. We have a children's location. Launching recovery op now. But before her voice cut off, the signal glitched. Interference. On the surface, something was jamming the transmission. Draxel had found the beacon. In the wastes of Vanos. The children had escaped into the deep jungle with the help of alien resistance fighters, hiding in long-forgotten ruins once used by human archaeologists. Injured and exhausted, they remained on the run. Ava crawled beside a tree root, her shirt torn, hands scraped. She glanced back at Zach, who was barely moving. We need to keep going, she whispered, though her own voice cracked. Earth's coming. I know it. Lila sat beside an ancient terminal powered by cracked fusion cells, trying to boost the beacon signal. I'm close, she muttered, sweat pouring down her brow. But they're jamming us. We need higher ground or a boost satellite. A voice behind them answered. Gravelly. Alien. There's one left. But it's guarded. It was Tracer, a rebel ex-soldier with cobalt scales and scarred eyes. He had turned on Draxel's forces after they torched his village for hiding a human doctor. You get me there, he said, crouching beside Ava. I'll get you heard. Ava didn't hesitate. Then we move. In Draxel's command bunker, Commander Draxel stood watching the footage on loop. The children hadn't died. Somehow they'd escaped. The fury in his chest boiled over. They make us look weak, he growled. We had them, and now they're symbols. He turned to his lieutenant. Seal the jungles. No more capture orders. Find them. End it. And Earth? The lieutenant asked. Draxel's grin was feral. Let them come. We'll hang their soldiers too. He didn't know Earth had already arrived. The children's fight. The jungle canopy of Vanos 4 was thick with heat and shadow, branches curling like claws above the moss-covered ruins. Beneath the ancient stone archways of a collapsed observatory, the 7 human children caught their breath. They were dirty, bleeding, and half-starved, but alive. Ava Carter wiped the sweat from her brow. Her eyes scanned the dense foliage behind them, always watching, always waiting. The only reason they weren't dead yet was because of Tracer. He crouched near the ruin's edge, his cobalt scales blending into the stone. A former elite of the Torcan ranks, Tracer now bore the mark of exile, a seared brand over his left eye. Draxel soldiers had once followed his command. Now they hunted him. "They'll sweep the ridge at dawn," he said without turning. "We don't have until then." Lila, still fiddling with the broken transmitter, looked up. "I'm close. We found an old Terran comm relay in the ruins. It just needs a stronger power core." Mia, the youngest, had her head resting on Dimitri's shoulder. The older boy read to her softly from a torn story tablet. Something about space dragons and moonwolves. It was a tiny escape from reality, but it helped. Zach clutched his leg, where a jagged cut had gotten worse. Ava tore fabric from her shirt and pressed it to the wound. "You're not slowing us down," she whispered. "You're still one of us." "I didn't say I was," he grinned weakly. Ava gave him a look, part smile, part command. "Good." Just then, Aaron burst from the tree lean. "Patrol incoming, half squad, maybe more. Scanners." Tracer was up instantly. "We move. Now." "But the transmitter," Lila started. Ava stood, helping Zach up. "Bring it. We'll find another spot to finish it. Somewhere higher." They pushed into the jungle, moving fast through roots and vines, keeping low. Tracer led, Ava at the rear. They avoided drones, evaded heat scans by crawling through shallow swamp water, and ducked under alien vines that could paralyze with a single brush. After 2 grueling hours, they reached it. An old human survey tower, half collapsed, overgrown, but still standing at least 20 meters tall. Its frame groaned under the weight of vines and time, but the top still had line of sight to the sky. "This is it," Lila said, eyes lighting up. "We boost the signal here, we're through." While she climbed with Aaron and Dimitri to set the dish, Tracer planted proximity mines around the base. Ava sat beside Zach, holding his hand. He was shivering. "You're going to make it," she said. "You always say that." "I'm always right." Above, the beacon crackled. The signal locked. Earth would hear them. Then a sharp whine pierced the air, pulse rifles charging. Draxel soldiers had found them. 3 dropships roared through the trees, kicking up dust and leaves. Troopers in black armor fanned out, surrounding the tower. Ava grabbed Mia and shouted, "Climb! Get to the top!" Tracer fired the first shot, a bolt of plasma catching a soldier in the throat. Then the mines lit up, explosions ripping through the underbrush. But there were too many. Shots rang through the jungle. Zach was hit in the leg again. Tracer was dragged back, fighting 3 at once. He stabbed one in the throat with a hidden blade, then took a pulse round to the chest. "Run," he roared. Ava didn't run. She climbed. Up the scaffolding, past broken supports, she reached the top where Lila had just hit transmit. The beacon pulsed green. Then the transmission jammed, scrambled by signal spike. A gunshot echoed. A bolt struck the tower. Aaron screamed as he fell, caught by Dimitri mid-slide. Below, Draxel himself stepped from the clearing, plasma cannon in hand. "Children of Earth," he sneered, "your time is up." But just as he raised his weapon, a sonic boom cracked the sky. The clouds above tore apart as something massive burst from hyperspace, sleek, black, and bearing Earth's sigil. The TSV reprisal had arrived. Orbital weapons fired in rapid bursts, targeted precise. Draxel's left flank was incinerated in a white-hot beam of kinetic fury. More drop pods descended, this time human. The children collapsed in relief as Ava whispered, "Told you Earth was coming. Kill on sight." The jungle burned with streaks of fire and smoke as Earth's Terran forces rained down like thunder. Drop pods slammed into the ground, opening to reveal black armored soldiers of the Terran vanguard, battle-hardened, precise, and utterly silent. Each of them bore the red slash across the chest plate that marked them as kill-on-sight enforcers. Draxel snarled from behind a shield wall, flanked by the last of his loyal troops. "Hold the line," he roared, voice wild with fury. They bleed like any other, but they didn't. The first wave of Earth's soldiers didn't even fire. They dissected the enemy. Plasma blades lit the jungle floor. Stealth troopers decloaked mid-sprint, taking down 2 enemies at once. Sniper drones hovered silently above the canopy, removing commanders with pinpoint precision. Each shot was a message. You touched our children. Now you're marked. Atop the survey tower, Ava watched with wide eyes as the war unfolded below. Her chest rose and fell with short, stunned breaths. Next to her, Lila held the transmitter steady, even though it no longer mattered. We did it, Lila whispered. They came. Not all of us made it, Ava said softly, looking toward where Tracer had fallen. His body still lay near the tower base, surrounded by the remains of 3 dead soldiers. Zach was still alive, barely, cradled by Dimitri on the platform below. Mia had curled up beside Aaron, both too exhausted to move. A figure rose from a drop pod and sprinted toward the tower, her armor gleaming under the rising sun. It was General Adrian Knox herself. She didn't wait for ceremony. She ran with fury in her steps, climbed the tower herself, and knelt before Ava. Are you Carter? Ava nodded slowly. You did good, soldier. Knox looked her in the eyes. Real damn good. Ava blinked in disbelief. We're not soldiers. You are now. Knox keyed her comm, survivors located. Medical evac now. And get orbital lock on Draxel. We end this today. Below, Draxel retreated into the ridge bunker, howling orders and sealing the blast doors. They will not take me. I am Torcan. He didn't finish the sentence. From orbit, TSV Reprisal fired one single kinetic lance. Focused, narrow, unrelenting. It punched through the mountain like a god's spear. The ridge split open. The bunker vaporized. The body of Commander Draxel ceased to exist before he could even scream. His death was not noted with ceremony. Just a single confirmation on Earth's BattleNet. Draxel neutralized. Kill on sight, order fulfilled. 2 days later, Vanos 4, human evacuation zone. Tents lined the grassy hill beside the jungle. Medical drones zipped between patients. Human soldiers stood in rows, not as invaders, but as guardians. The outpost was now under Terran protection. In one tent, Ava sat with her arm in a sling, talking softly to Mia, who was drawing again. This time stars, Earth, and 7 children holding hands beneath them. Outside, General Knox addressed the camera. A live Earth broadcast. To all citizens of Earth, and to the galactic species watching silently. We are not here to conquer. We are here to protect what no one else would. 7 human children were nearly executed by a madman. The council ignored it. The galaxy pretended not to see. So he answered in the only language understood by tyrants. She stepped aside, revealing the now scorched insignia of Draxel's battalion, stamped into the earth like a curse broken. No more warnings. No more diplomacy over our dead. Harm one of ours again, and Earth won't send soldiers. We'll send judgment. 1 week later, Galactic Council Summit. The council reconvened in nervous silence. For the first time in history, all seats were filled. A single Terran delegate stood at the edge of the hall, Ambassador Reva Monroe. She placed a hollow projector on the floor. It played the raw footage, 7 children bound and sentenced. The room was forced to watch. Reva's voice was calm. Your silence cost lives. Your refusal gave Draxel permission. Never again. One counselor dared to speak. And if another commander crosses the line, Reva looked him dead in the eyes. Then Earth won't come with warnings. Epilogue Earth. Ava Carter stood in her backyard months later, watching her kite soar in the wind. Zach limped out with a laugh, still recovering but alive. Mia chased a butterfly, no longer afraid. The galaxy would never forget what happened on Vanos 4. Because Earth remembered, and Earth had declared, touch our children, and you sign your own death.